Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Next Genius webinar about the pre-college scholarships program, wherein you learn about various opportunities in Oxford and Cambridge in the UK and Stanford, Amherst, and Pepperdine in the US. So the flow of the webinar will be as such. First, we'll have Miss Katie, who will talk about the Great Book Summer Program in the US. And then we'll have Dia, who will talk about the summer boarding courses in the UK. And then lastly, we'll have Mr. Devesh, who will talk about the pre-college scholarships application process, and he'll give you more insights into it. So, Katie, the floor is yours.
Wonderful. Thank you. As I start to talk, I'm going to share my screen. I have just some PowerPoint slides for you as I am chatting here. And let me get myself to the right screen. Perfect. I will look to one of our hosts here to let me know if there's anything wrong with my screen, if you can't see it. I'm seeing that I am, just so you know, I am hotspotting. My internet is out in my home office here, so I'm hotspotting from my phone. I'm not being allowed to switch to true presentation view here. So let me, I'll try to see if I can do that as I'm talking to you. Here we go. I've been with Great Books for over a decade. Great Books is a program that is, very near to my heart. My own children have attended, so I think we may have some time for some questions, or certainly you can forward them at the end, and I'm happy to help. I'm always happy to put on kind of my mom hat and share what my own children have said to me. My oldest being in robotics engineering and, at WPI for robotics engineering now as a junior. So, STEM was always her future. We're a literature program, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how the unique preparation we do here gets you ready to be a leader when and if you choose to do something in the sciences. My son is a humanities buff pursuing business, so I've seen both sides quite personally. At Great Books, we have been on college campuses for 24 years. We help students develop critical thinking skills, close reading skills. Literature is the catalyst for growing those skills, but the things that we teach, the tools that we give you are really useful across disciplines as you are in high school, certainly as you move on to college. And many, many families have told us that they're actually tools that are really quite practical and useful in talking about the experience itself in those important college interviews. So that's a fun sort of side, but very big benefit to this kind of program. At Great Books, you learn without the pressure of grades. We think it's really important that we give you a space where you can push yourself for personal growth and advancement in preparation for those next big steps in life where you will need to push yourself without worrying about getting an A. We're really worried about how do we get you to the next level of observation? How do we get you well practiced in participating in a small seminar style discussion? How do we get you learning how to identify big ideas in a text, whether it's literature, whether you're simply using, your observation skills to develop an eye for the big ideas and findings that you'll have in laboratories in your STEM classes. We read exciting works of literature each and every week across different themes, oftentimes in excerpts. Our goal is not to trudge you through 1,000 pages or 20 books during a week. Our goal, again, is to teach you how to dive into pieces that are rich for discussion, to hone your eye for close reading, and give you some real practice in finding and articulating your best ideas using the evidence in front of you. And we do this through deep discussion, shared inquiry, civil discourse. Our professors teach by asking questions, as you will see when you head off to college, and you get that important seminar class where your participation daily makes a huge impact on your grade. Our core program is called the Great Books and Big Ideas program. That is the program that we use literature as the catalyst to teach critical thinking and those other important skills. I'm going to try to talk quickly so I leave time for questions. So forgive me if this is a little rapid. That program is on the campus of Amherst, Stanford, Haverford College, which is a small liberal arts college in Pennsylvania, Pepperdine, also offered online. We do have a merit scholarship through Next Genius at our Pepperdine campus, which is in Malibu, California. Pepperdine, a great place to get a taste of, what a larger university looks like, as is Stanford. Amherst and Haverford, certainly representative of the small liberal arts college experience, that you might see if you participate in any colleges on the East Coast here in the US. Even a Harvard or a Yale are sort of more of a small college campus experience, even if they might be larger. We also offer writers' workshops on our Amherst and Stanford campuses. In these dedicated weeks, we craft our own writing. We cultivate our own voice as writers. As a high school student, you have the ability to select a genre to focus in. So you can choose to focus on the skills most transferable to your personal essay. If you like to write creatively, you could choose to focus in on fiction or poetry. On our Stanford campus, you can choose to focus in on screenwriting. We also have a basic effective writing track on the Stanford campus as well. So if you're looking to hone writing skills more directly applicable to academic writing, that would be a track that you could choose. We also have some literary travel programs. If you're interested in heading to Europe with us, we are bringing all of the academics from our Great Books and Big Ideas courses, diving into literature as a catalyst for building those critical thinking, discussion skills, but all doing so in a fun destination like Athens, Madrid, Edinburgh, Scotland, Dublin, Ireland, and Oxford. I will mention our Athens program is the newest. We're super excited to be talking about the theme of democracy in what in the Western world we might call the cradle of democracy. We also have a new program for writers, Berkshire Writers Adventure, which is hosted on our Amherst campus. So if you're looking to, as a creative writer, to practice your writing skills and to do it walking in the footsteps of some pretty famous authors from this area of the United States, Emily Dickinson, Robert Frost, Herman Melville. We'll be visiting their homes and writing in the very places that they have written. I'll cruise through that, and I'll circle back to Pepperdine. We do, as I mentioned, have our Great Books and Big Ideas program on the campus of Pepperdine during the week of June 22nd. This is the program where we are working with Next Genius to offer a $500 merit scholarship. We're very excited about studying the classics at Pepperdine, and just wanted to note that merit scholarship opportunity to join us on that particular campus. The big difference at Great Books is really in who we put you in touch with, how we work together. You are taught by a distinguished faculty of university professors. Under your may also have in this faculty, in addition to university professors, some PhD candidates currently teaching at the university level. But you will be sitting in a real college classroom led by a real university professor. It is an enormous confidence builder and leg up. It was for my kids. I hear it from other families as well, because it completely replicates the classroom that you'll be sitting in a short time when you head off to college yourself. You'll have the opportunity to have succeeded in that setting and to do so with the sort of support scaffolding that you need to get there right now. And you'll learn and see that our professors, uniquely so, but your professors that you'll experience at university too, are really interested in your ideas. They're kind people. Your experience here will make things like going into office hours when you're a university student to connect with your professors about things that you need, or simply because you're the wise student who recognizes that a rapport with your professor is really a great booster to your performance ratings in class. We also have you work closely with a program assistant. That's our word for camp counselor, really, but we call them program assistants because importantly, they are much more than a camp counselor. They are an academic mentor. Often we've had so many Fulbright students, Rhodes Scholars. They are upper year undergraduate students at a cross section of colleges and universities, doing really interesting things. Oftentimes they're graduate students or young teachers as well. What you won't find at Great Books are counselors who are high school students or counselors who are inexperienced. We take very seriously your leveling up when you come to Great Books. As a high school student, you are engaging in college level work. You're working with a college professor, and you have program assistants there to support you every step of the way. You work in a pod, which is the residential sort of unit that you live with of maybe 8 or so kids, same gender, same age. You're living in the university dormitories, and your academic mentor, your program assistant, is living right there in that hallway and will help you prepare each and every night to get the most out of the next day's seminars. And I just have a few kind of spotlights here. We so often get the question, I can't underscore it enough, why Great Books? I'm looking into STEM. I want to go into medicine. I'm going into law. I'm not going into literature. Literature is just the catalyst for us. It's the tool we use to teach you how to take any information that's before you, certainly in the classroom, also in life, and think critically about it. These are some of our alums. As I said, we've been doing this for 24 years. So we've got some alums who are, further into their careers. I do have Sally here, I see as a surgery fellow. She's actually a full-fledged obstetrician and surgeon now. I need to update my slide. Nicole is a biomedical engineer. Both were students at Great Books several years ago. One returned to be a program assistant as well, as did Cynthia Tong here, who's a Tony-nominated Broadway producer. We have teachers. There's just a lovely cross-section of where you can take the skills that we give you here. Jamie is a CTO, in Silicon Valley. Christina is an attorney in Washington, D.C. The world is, when you have these kinds of tools, the world is your oyster. So I will take questions if that's okay, or I'll defer to my hosts for how we want to handle that. And in lieu of questions, they'll tell me how much time I have left, and I can tell you common questions that I typically get. So I'm going to look at the chat now. Hopefully everyone was able to hear my presentation. What is the application requirement is a question that I have. You are able to go on the Great Book Summer Program website, complete a registration and place a deposit to save your spot. What's required after that is that you have an endorsement from a teacher, who we will ask you for contact information for, and then we'll ask the teacher about your readiness, both socially and academically, for a rigorous academic program. If there's any question about that feedback provided, we will require an interview. But in the interim, your space will be held. We do have rolling admissions. And I will say that if you are working with Next Genius closely and, Devesh, Mr. Niraj Manhana and his team, that makes criteria for eligibility for Great Books very easy if they know you well. They simply need to tell us that that you are the right sort of match. It is imperative that if you choose to come to Great Books, that you are ready and open to very seriously diving into literature and discussion every single day and putting your best foot forward. We will provide, though we don't provide grades, we do supply a completion certificate and an evaluation letter at the end of the program written by your program assistant that will highlight your accomplishments. I'm being asked about the eligibility criteria for the merit scholarship. So I'm going to defer that question over to Devesh and your team at Next Genius.
Thank you, Katie. I'll talk about the process of the Next Genius Scholarship Program towards the end of the session. Just to save time, maybe if you have questions specific to grade books, you can just ask now. Otherwise, I'll take all the questions about the Next Genius process towards the end of the session.
Great. The only other question I have is how to contact Great Books if someone has questions. So with your permission there, I will throw my email address into the chat, and anyone is welcome to reach out to me. Just let me know you're coming in from Next Genius, and I am certainly very happy to help you.
Thank you so much, Katie, for the insights into the Great Books program. Now I would like to invite Dia to talk about the summer boarding courses at Oxford, Cambridge, and other schools in the UK.
Thank you so much. So I will just quickly share my screen so I can get our presentation up. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Okay, so my name is Dia and I represent summer boarding courses in the UK. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a general overview of what summer boarding courses is and the courses that we offer. So first, I'm just going to start off with some credentials. We're the UK's #1 ranked summer school. We've achieved a 15 out of 15 in the British Council in 2018 as well as 2024. So we get students in from over 155 different countries. So this is an opportunity for you to make friends from all over the world, learn about different nationalities and traditions as well. So these are our locations. So what I like to do is I like to separate it into 2 categories. So here we have Oxford College as well as Duke's Cambridge. Now these are our pre-college university programs. So the studies are slightly more difficult, hours are a little bit longer, but the whole purpose of it is to prepare you for university. So you're taught at a university style, the curriculum is also university style as well. Below are other locations. So these are more of a standard summer school programs, and I'll get into a little bit more details ahead. So these are the different subjects that you get to choose from. As you can see, they're not your regular school subjects. These are university style subjects. So for example, subjects like law, mini MBA, sciences, politics. These are all different types of subjects that you get to explore with our programs. So this is our Oxford College program. So I'm just going to give you a general overview as well as an example of a course that we provide at our Oxford College program. So as you can see, the location is Fordham College at Oxford University, and the hours of studies are 25 hours of studies per week. So these are the courses that are available with our Oxford College program. We have Faculty of Business, Law, Medicine, and Global Leadership. So I'll just be going over our law program for Oxford as an example. So as you can see, the modules are on my right. So we cover foundations of law and legal systems, criminal law and justice, human rights, and international law. So basically, this program is designed to develop your analytical skills, deepen your understanding of the law, and prepare you for the challenges of your future legal career. Next is our Duke's Cambridge course. So here, as you can see, it takes place in Sanctum Wood, which is a Cardiff sixth form college within England. And these are the courses that are available with our Duke's Cambridge program. We have Faculty of Medicine, Business, Science and Technology, and Social Sciences. So it's a little bit similar to our Oxford program, just the courses are a bit more different. So it's also 25 hours per week. So what I'll go through is our medicine program. So one thing I've noticed here are kids in India are very keen on medicine, but in school, you're only taught biology, physics, chemistry. You're not actually taught what it's like to study medicine as an entire subject. And it can be quite daunting to take up medicine as a university degree. It's a very long and a very big, difficult course. So here we go through the basics of what medicine covers. For example, you can see the modules on the right. We have human anatomy and systems physiology, principles of clinical practice, as well as medical ethics and professionalism. This is a great way to start your journey as becoming a future doctor or working in the health industry in general. Next, it's SBC at Cambridge. So now what I'm going to be showing you is more of our standard summer school programs. So it's a good balance between your studies as well as going through some activities and sightseeing once you reach the UK. So as you can see, the tuition hours are slightly less. They're 15 hours of studies per week in comparison to our pre-college programs, which are 25. So these are the courses that are available at our Canford program. We have future business leaders, future scientists, and future artists. So I'll be just covering our program of future artists for our Canford program. Over here, you get to learn different types of medias of art, whether it be sculpting, graphic design, drawing, watercolors, acrylic paints. You get to play around with all different types of medias of art. And at the end, what they do is they teach you how to build up your art portfolio, which is it's extremely important, especially once you're applying for university, because they teach you how to keep an art portfolio as well as give you an art portfolio at the end of your program, which is great for once you apply for university. So next is our Headington program. Quite similar to our Canford program, the hours are exactly the same of 15 hours per week. And I will just go through the courses with you again. So future business leaders, global leaders, general English, doctors, and scientists. So here I'll be going over our program called Future Scientists. Over here, you get to learn and develop critical thinking and analytical skills, hands-on experiences, experiments to scientific concepts. You also get to gain confidence in presenting scientific ideas and findings. So this is great if you're interested in opting for a STEM field in the future. Next is another program called Rochester. And this is the course that we provide. So this is called Social Sciences. So this is great if you want to pursue psychology into the future. You can see on our modules on the right, we offer Introduction to Psychology, Understanding Society through Sociology, as well as Exploring Culture through Anthropology. This is a great foundation for you before actually going into psychology in the future for your university programs. These are just some pictures from our programs over here. Next, we have Earlscliffe. So it's a little different since the age group is a bit higher. So the hours of studies are 20 hours per week. And these are our programs. So Think Global, Mini MBAs, Sustainable Futures, Breaking Digital, and University Prep. So this is one of our most popular courses here in Earlscliffe. It's called Mini MBA. We offer quite a few business programs, but this one tends to be quite popular. So we cover all the aspects of business, whether it be entrepreneurship, marketing, finance, how to make a startup, sustainability. So what we did have is around 2 years ago, some students had to come up with their own startup. So that's what they did. They came up with their own e-commerce startup called Jewelry Bold, where you send in your expensive jewelry and it allows you to rent it out and bring it back. So they set up an actual physical website for this. These are the types of hands-on experiences that you would have at a course like this. Next, we have Eden College. So over here, as you can see, similarly to the one before, it's 20 hours of study per week. These are the courses available: Foundation Business, Global Leadership, and STEM. So this is our STEM program, similar to the one that I said before of sciences. Here are the courses on the right. We get Exploring Core STEM Principles and Innovations, Engineering, Technology, Problem-Solving Skills, Data Science, and Data Literacy. So this is a good mix of all the engineering concepts, as well as if you want to get into a little bit of computer science, it's a good mix of both in one course. Lastly, we have Institute of Education. So this is a new program that we've introduced this year. So this actually takes place in Dublin, Ireland. Over here, we offer business and leadership. So similar to Mini MBA, we have foundations of business and leadership, strategic marketing and brand development, finances, businesses, and decision-making. So this is all exactly what you need before starting a business degree in university. This helps you prepare before deciding where you want to specialize in. So industry experience. So for all of our programs, we ensure to include industry experience. So what this means is that we have individuals who work within the industry of your course. Now, for example, in our medicine program, we'll have students in their last year of medicine or have graduated or even practicing doctors come in and host workshops for you, Q&As, and just general talks for you, lectures as well, if you have any questions or regarding the application process, getting into medicine, or what it's like to work in the health sector field. So these individuals are here to help you out with any queries that you might have about the real world. So this is just an example of our cultural visit. So I've taken the slide from our Earlscliffe one. So this is just how your day would look like. So you get to do sightseeing for 2 full days, whether it's London Dungeon, Natural History Museum, London Eye, Buckingham Palace. These are your exercises that you get to do in the afternoons. You get to do rock climbing, crazy golf, laser tag, etc. So at the end of each course, students do get a certificate and reference letter. This will be provided that you've completed our program, and this is great for when you're applying for college as well. So lastly, just some benefits of summer school. We do believe it's great to prepare students for their future studies, especially since it's very difficult to leave the country, especially without your mom and dad. So it's a good idea for 2 weeks. You get to go on your own, especially if you're keen on learning in the UK. You get to put yourself in that environment, study, see how it works, see how the country is. And it's just great for building your confidence as well. So thank you. That's all from me. Thank you so much for listening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are.
Thank you so much, Dia. If there are any questions, you can put them in the chat and Dia will answer them. And if there are not, we can always come back to them later at the end of the session.
I'll just provide my contact information in the chat. I'll put my email as well.
Thank you, Dia. Now I would like to invite Mr. Devesh to talk about the pre-college scholarships program and also give an insight into the application process.
Thank you so much, Adya. And also thanks to Katie and Dia for sharing all the fantastic information about the programs. Our students have been participating in programs for years, and they always come back with lots of amazing experiences and learning. So I can vouch for these programs. These are just amazing. Last year, 4 or 5 of our students went to the Great Book Summer programs, and a similar number, a much larger number, went to the summer boarding courses. And when they came back, they sort of shared a lot about what they learned, but also the friends that they made at these places, because you make friends from around the world, and it is the first step towards becoming a global citizen, because you get the kind of experience that you get at the end of it. You get to meet people from the corners and the places of the world that you would not have heard of a lot of times. So it's for parents, I think this is a great way to send your child abroad for a couple of weeks before you are sending them for 4 years altogether, right? So it's a great way to ensure that your child is ready and they can manage everything by themselves. So that's something I always, when we speak with parents, I say that, if you are planning to send them abroad for 4 years, this could be a great place to start, because this is not a very, very high stake thing, because when you go to the college, you go there for 4 years, and I think to prevent your child from struggling there, it's a summer school abroad is a great place to start. So let me just take this forward and share my screen as I take you through the process and the eligibility for the Next Genius Scholarship Program. So these programs are for students from grade 8 till 11th. So anyone who is going into grade 12, of course, they are also eligible. The Next Genius scholarships are open to students from India, Nepal, and Bangladesh, or for foreign nationals who are studying in India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. So if you are not an Indian citizen, but you are studying at a high school in India, you are still eligible. Yeah. Once again, I'll repeat, if you are not an Indian citizen, but you are studying at a high school in India, Nepal, or Bangladesh, you are still eligible. Or if you are an Indian citizen living abroad, you're still eligible for our scholarships. Yeah. What we look for two things. When you apply for our programs, we look at your soft skills, your communication skills, and we look at your personal vision. When I say personal vision, we ask you about why are you interested in this summer program and how will it help you as you prepare for your further education, as you prepare for your higher education. How will this summer program help you? So all students are required to record a video answering a question uh, about their personal vision and answering about which summer program do they want to participate in. this could be a 2 to 3 minute video where they can simply record it on their phones using their phone cameras. It doesn't need to be professional. We are more interested in what you want to communicate to us. Yeah. The selection process is fairly straightforward. This is the third year of us doing this program. The online applications are open, and I believe most of you who are here, most of you who are on this call, you have already applied. I see a bunch of friends in the audience, counselors, Archana, Abha. So your students, they can apply right now. The applications are open until the end of March. We close on April 1st. Following that, we invite the students to submit their level 2 form. We call it the profiling form. In this form, we ask them a lot of information about their academics and their extracurricular activities. And we also ask them to record that video that I was just talking about. At the end of this, once they submit their profile, we then match them with one of the summer programs as per their shortlist. So out of the 7 or 8 summer programs on our website, we shortlist 2 or 3 of the top choices, and we ask the students to connect with the summer programs for the interviews. And at the end of those interviews, eventually, the scholarships are offered. So in terms of timeline, April 1 is the deadline for the application. April 5 is the deadline for the online profiling or the level 2 form. And April 10 is when the final results are announced. That's it. Simple, straightforward, easy. The scholarships are competitive. So I just want to, let you know that last year about 2,000 students applied to us, and about 5 students were offered a full scholarship, and a lot others were offered a partial scholarship. So this is a competitive program. At the same time, it's also a great experience. It's a life-changing opportunity because you get to attend these programs and be on the campuses which students dream of going to. Yeah. So that itself is inspiring. And I truly believe it's a life-changing opportunity because if at such a young age, if you get this kind of a global exposure, it opens up your mind for all kinds of possibilities. Yeah. I'll pause over here and we'll try and take questions. So please feel free to post your questions in the chat. And before we move to questions, I would once again like to invite Katie and Dia to share their final thoughts, or if there is anything else that you want to share with the students. So Katie, first anything that you would like to share?
Great. Let me share a note, my final thought, I guess, as speaking to parents and also to students, and picking up on that, your wise advice to get some experience out in the world before heading to college for 4 years. There's really nothing like spending a week or 2 on the campus of a university like Pepperdine or Stanford or Amherst to learn to appreciate not just maybe how it feels to be on a college campus, but to do so at this time of life where you will have counselors and all of the scaffolding, I'm sure, in many of the programs, but certainly so at Great Books. At Great Books, we're supervising students 24 hours a day. It's largely by the program assistants. So if you're the student listening, hey, you get to hang out with an undergraduate who, sure, is making sure you don't get lost on the Stanford campus. It's a huge campus, but also providing that academic mentoring, and they're super fun people, so you'll want to hang out with them. But as a parent, it's staying in the dormitories dedicated to students your child's age, being supervised 24 hours a day. And I really can't say enough how that real experience with working with a university professor in that literal university setting is such a boost of confidence. It truly made the difference for so many great book students, but I'll tell you personally, in my own house, my kids have never had any trepidation in reaching out to professors or building rapport with their professors. My humble brag, I think, is that for my STEM child in particular, and we see it a lot, great books, though it's literature based, really gave her the skills she needed, not just to make astute observations and share them in class with confidence, but to do so as a leader when collaborating with peers in labs. You wouldn't think those things go together, but really the kind of things that you're learning, the kinds of things that you're learning truly are skills that are transferable across disciplines. And getting out there in the world is indeed life-changing. I will say, on the Great Books perspective, we bring kids together from probably about 60 countries every year. But the bulk of the students that you'll meet on any one of our campuses are, that's probably 70 to 80% American or North American, including our Canadian friends. So it does really replicate what college in the US will feel like in terms of the community of bright peers that you'll be studying with.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Katie, for those insights. Dia.
I'll have to agree with Miss Katie in terms of going to a summer school abroad, regardless of whether it's in the US, UK, or anywhere across the world. It's just a great way for you to get out of your shell, be independent for those 2 weeks to 4 weeks, no matter how much time it is. You need to learn how to be independent because your mom and dad, I know how it is to live in India and have mom and dad there with you with your lunch, your breakfast, your dinner, your medicine. But this is a great way for you to get those 2 weeks of independence. And in terms of summer boarding courses, it's a great way for you to network, especially if you're keen in the UK. It's just a great way to explore the UK, whether it's around the city, within campus, with your teachers or your fellow students, because everyone coming here does want to go to the UK eventually. So it's just a great way for you to network, have a good time. You're all within campus, you're constantly together, whether it's in campus, the cafeteria, your classrooms. You're going to make so many friends. It's going to be a great time for you, as well as you're going to learn so much in regards to what subject you want to study for in the future. You're going to feel so much more prepared before you apply, thinking that, you know what, I've studied law for 2 weeks and I've studied law at a college level. I'm way more prepared to study law in the future right now, and I feel so much better. And it's just overall a very good experience.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dia. I have some questions coming in. I'll just I'll ask them. So, Katie, I know the answer for this one, but I'll invite you to talk about whether it's at Amherst College or at University of Massachusetts Amherst, UMass Amherst.
Yes, important distinction. It is at Amherst College, and while both are wonderful institutions, at Amherst College, smaller, more elite, a little more challenging to get into, but maybe most importantly, a small liberal arts college. So the kind of place that if you're looking to go to, say, even a Dartmouth, it gives you a flavor of what that style of campus is like.
Superb. And once again, Katie and Dia, if you can just once again put your email ID in the chat. It just, for me, it went a little up. So I'll just invite both of you, just share your email IDs in the chat so that students and parents can reach out to you with ease. And I'm also getting some requests for the presentation. So I'll just request both of you, if you could email me your presentations and we'll pass it on to the students. So students, a lot of information which was shared today will be available in the presentations that we saw. Just reach out to us on next, and I'll also put my email ID in the chat. So we'll share the PPTs with you. Okay. Okay, so let me just see what else is here. Do we get college credits if a student gets selected for the UC Berkeley program? So we also run the UC Berkeley Business Academy for Youth. Unfortunately, there are no college credits being offered for that program. Okay. Someone is asking what the interviews are like. See, these interviews are not technical. These are not intimidating. These are just conversations. These are just conversations where you get to talk about yourself, share your story with the admission officers, and ask them questions about the program. So I don't want you to feel nervous or sort of scared of these interviews. These are just fun conversations. Yeah. In fact, any interview is a conversation. If you take it that way, it'll be less intimidating to you. Okay. Another question is, what do we have to talk about in the video that we have to make? So uh, in the video, we ask you to share about your 2 achievements that you're most proud of. Yeah. It can be anything. These achievements are something that you are proud of. It's about you. Number one. Number two is talk about uh, how will this summer program help you uh, in your vision of education? What role does this summer program play uh, as you work towards your college or start planning to your college journey? Simple questions, talk from your heart. Just don't, be yourself when you make these videos. Keep it simple. Record these videos on your phone. We don't want very complicated editing and all of that. Just keep as simple as possible, because uh, we are more interested in what you are talking about. Yeah. Okay. Uh, okay. So a question is, I hope that the PIO and OCI card holders are allowed to apply. Yes, absolutely. PIO and OCI card holders, which is person of Indian origin and overseas citizen of India, they are allowed to apply for this program. Absolutely. Yes. Will these programs take place in July? Yes, most of these programs take place in the fag end of June and July. So yes, which also means some of the CBSE students might not be able to participate, because most CBSE summer breaks end by the end of, or by mid-June, I would say, and the school year resumes by end of June. Okay. So I think we are coming towards the end of the session. I'm sure many of you are going into your exams now. Uh, and probably your exams are just going on as we talk. So um, all the best, and that's why I see more parents today as compared to the students. But all the best for your exams. Good luck, and we are here to help you. Please don't hesitate in reaching out to us. We will pass on the recording of this session as well as the presentations. So if you missed out on any information, don't worry. You will have access to everything uh, as we share these things with you. All right, perfect. Okay, so that's it. I think we'll close now. Thank you, everyone.